Math again today. Unit 8 still, multiplying fractions by a whole number. So for the past 2 days, you've had some practice with this. And today we're going to be moving on to lesson 8.3. 8.3, do you see it right there? And it's on page 339. And it's multiplying a fraction by a whole number using models. So that's what we're going to do today. Can't wait to get started. Hi everyone, so we're in lesson 8.3 today. Multiply a fraction by a whole number using models. So the first one I see here, it says use a model to multiply 3 times 3/4. Oh, this is old hat. We've been doing this for the last 2 lessons. The only difference today is they want us to show it using a model. So if I notice here, they have a model of 4/4, 4/4, and 4/4. So they have 3 4/4. So how am I going to use this model? So it says think, 3 times 3/4 is 3 groups of 3/4 of a whole. Shade the model to show 3 groups of 3/4. Ooh, I love shading. So if I did not grab my crayons. So let me see if I can grab some crayons here to do that. Yep, grab them. So I can shade 3/4. I know you can too. So if you have your crayon out, go ahead and shade 3/4. So I'm going to shade 1/4 of this model, 2/4 of this model, and now 3/4 of this model. So now it says one group of 3/4 equals, well, you guys can see 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is 3/4. So 1 times 3/4 equals 3/4. But it says, hey, we have 3 groups of 3/4, Miss Ferguson. Oh yeah, so let's do 2 groups. So I'm going to shade in that 3/4 again. So 1/4, and if you have your crayon out, go ahead and shade in 2/4 and 3/4. Oh, now I have 2 groups of 3/4. So if I count them, I have 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. That equals 6/4. 3 plus 3 equals 6. Do you see that? So I have 6/4. So 2 groups of 3/4 equals 6/4. But I'm not done yet because it said, hey, you have 3 groups of 3/4. Come on, lady. We got to shade all that in. So now I'm like, okay, 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. Oh, yes. Now I have 3 groups of 3/4 all shaded in using my model. So 3 groups of 3/4 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9/4. So now I know 3 times 3/4 equals 9/4. So Raphael will participate for 9/4 hours in all. And that's this problem. So number 1 says explain how you can use repeated addition with the model, with this model, to find the product 3 times 3/4. I could do it a really long way with repeated addition. I could go 1/4 plus 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 1/4 equals 9/4. That takes a little bit long. But I know I have 3 groups of 3/4. So I could just say, well, I have 3/4 plus a second group of 3/4 plus a third group of 3/4. And I know how to add fractions. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9/4. And so that's how I could use repeated addition to also solve this problem. So it says you know how to use a model and repeated addition to multiply fractions by a whole number, because that's what we've been doing already. Look for a pattern in the table to discover another way to multiply a fraction by a whole number. So your parents are probably going to be so excited because they're like, hey, this is how I learned it. So we look at the first one. It says multiplication problem. Here's a model. we have 2 times 1/6, because we have 1/6 and 1/6. So there's 2 of them, times 1/6. The whole number is 2. The fraction size of the group is 1/6. So we know that 2 times 1/6 equals 2/6. I'm noticing some blue numbers here. See if you can figure out that pattern there. So then I look at the next problem. Oh, we have 2/6 of a whole and 2/6 of a whole. But we have 2 wholes here. So we're like, okay, well 2 times 2/6, because 2/6 here and 2/6 here. So the whole number, the number of groups, 1 group, 2 groups. The fraction, the size of the group, 2/6, 2/6. So 2/6 of a whole equals 4/6. Again, the blue, blue, blue. What are you noticing there? 2, 2, and 4. 2, 1, and 2. Go to the next one. Again, I just still see 2 groups. I have 2 groups. But this time I have 3/6 and 3/6. So 2 for 2 whole groups times, the fraction size of a group, 3/6 and 3/6 equals 6/6. 2, 3, 6. Are you discovering the pattern yet? Well, if you haven't, we're going to kind of talk about that. When you multiply a fraction by a whole number, the numerator in the product, remember the product is the answer to a multiplication problem. The numerator is the top half of the fraction. It's the part. So let's read this again. When you multiply a fraction by a whole number, the numerator in the product is the product of the whole number. Let's see if I can write a whole number upside down. Whole number. You can probably write it faster than me today because you're not writing upside down. And the numerator of the fraction. What does that mean, Miss Ferguson? I will explain that to you if you haven't caught on yet. 2 times 3, 2 is the whole number, times 3, which is the numerator, equals 6, which is the numerator of the product. 2 times 2 is 4. 4/6. 2 times 1 is 2. The denominator in the product, which is the answer to a multiplication problem, is the same as the denominator. Oops, that was a terrible D. Denominator of the fraction. Let's see if that's true. The denominator was 6. The denominator in the product is 6. The denominator is 6. Oh my goodness! And the product denominator is 6. The denominator stayed the same. So how do you multiply a fraction by a whole number without using a model or without using repeated addition? So I'm going to kind of just give you an example. What if we had 5 times 2/8? So that means we have 5 groups of 2/8. Well, watch this. 5 times 2, everybody, is 10, and our denominator stays the same. Ta-da! So easy, so quick, so fast. This is kind of the algorithm here, right? Let's try another one for practice. What if we had 6 times, let's say 1/3. 6 times 1, everybody, equals, yes, 6. And the denominator stays the same. This is much faster using this algorithm than using a model. It's also faster than using repeated addition. So this is how much faster this new technique, this new algorithm that you're introduced to today is going to make your life so much simpler. So find the product, an answer to a multiplication problem, of 3 times 5/8. Here's the model, which we were using earlier. So here's one group of 1/8, right? And there's 5/8 in here. So one group of 5/8 equals 1 times 5 is 5. Yes, 5/8. Can you see the model right there? Two groups of 5/8. So 5/8 plus 5/8. Let's see. 2 times 5 is, everybody? Yes, 10. And 8, the denominator, stays the same. And last but not least, 3 groups of 5/8. 5/8 plus 5/8 plus 5/8. 3 times 5 is, yes, you guessed it, 15. And the denominator stays the same. So 3 times 5/8 equals 3 times 5 is 15. And the denominator of 8ths stays the same. We have 15/8. So much simpler, isn't it? It's exciting, but at least you know how to show this using multiplication. You know how to show it using models. You know how to show it using repeated addition. And now you're using the algorithm. So now it says multiply. I see 4/5 and I see 4/5. I see one group of 4/5 and a second group of 4/5. So I bet anything this problem is 2 times 4/5. Let's look. 2 times 4, everybody? 8. And our denominators of 5ths stays the same. Oh my goodness. 4 times 2/3, because we have one group of 2/3, 2 groups of 2/3, 3 groups of 2/3, and 4 groups of 2/3. So 4 times 2/3. Again, I could use repeated addition and count 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 and go on and on and on. Or I could just go 4 times 2 is, you guessed it, 8, and the denominator stays the same. Now I'm going to do the same thing without using any models. 5 times 3/10. 5 times 3, everybody? You got it. 15. We're multiplying that whole number by the numerator. And the denominator stays the same. So we have 15/10. 4 times 5, 6. We're going to multiply that whole number times the numerator. 4 times 5 is 20. And the denominator stays the same, so we have 26. So I hope today's lesson helped you to do your math a lot more quickly, but now you understand what the model represents, and you understand that it's really repeated addition, but a faster way to do repeated addition. Have a great day.